Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel, and there is some just incredible evidence of the real world adoption of the crypto asset class. And I'm talking about from an institutional perspective as well as a corporate perspective. In particular, most notably on that front, publicly traded companies interested in investing literally into Bitcoin and the crypto asset class at large. So, it's not going to surprise you. Most of the funds would flow into to Bitcoin, but I'm here to tell you that that is fantastic for XRP, certainly the entire crypto asset class, but XRP as well. And you might say, well, how the hell is that? Well, more money flowing into even just specifically Bitcoin, reducing the available supply, which is already rather scarce. I mean, if you guys haven't heard me talk about this, I've made videos just expressing like how little Bitcoin is actually out in the wild, whether it's a couple million or whatever. It's probably a reasonable estimate, whether you think even if you think it's 2 or 3 or 4, whatever it is, whatever number you believe, it's not that much. There's not enough Bitcoin remaining for every millionaire on the planet to own one Bitcoin. So just stop and think about that for a second. You got Bitcoin at these levels, with 1.2% of humans having ever purchased it. And so the neat thing is, as this happens, as Bitcoin gains adoption, it results in more money flowing into altcoins as well. And so while it's good for Bitcoin, right, and it just continues to basically just put it in this position where it's the standard for just being digital gold, because it doesn't really do anything else. It's it's slow, it's clunky, it's expensive, it's energy intensive, all this stuff. And I'm long Bitcoin, mind you. I own Bitcoin. I'm just saying that these are facts, objective facts. And so even though way more actual money will be flowing into Bitcoin, because there's so much less money in XRP, it doesn't take much flowing in to get a doubling effect in terms of price action, or tripling, or quadrupling, or 10x, or 20x, whatever it may be. Way less money has to flow in. And for those of you that want to conceptually understand that, maybe it's not clear enough, the best way that I've found to dumb this down, because I get it, some people are like, how is that the case? Especially if you're new to crypto, I got you covered. Consider this. The market cap for Bitcoin as I record this is $702 billion. How much money has to flow into Bitcoin to get it to double? A fair bit, right? Look at XRP's market cap. As I record this, it is $17.3 billion. Think about that. So XRP's market cap, $17.3 billion. Bitcoin's $702.4 billion. How much money has to flow into XRP to get its price to just double? Way less. And so that's why what you find is, the less money there is in a particular cryptocurrency, the greater the opportunity for asymmetrical gains relative to even just Bitcoin, frankly. And Bitcoin, don't get me wrong, if you have enough in Bitcoin, just even if you have to wait for 2 or 3 more market cycles, even that could be enough to where you don't have to worry about anything ever again. If this goes the direction that many think that it actually will, and as long as it's truly going to maintain that position as digital gold, well, then there's something to that. But as far as XRP, especially over this market cycle, given that I personally believe XRP is just following along with what's happening with the rest of the asset class, this is incredible. And I want to be clear, I don't have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and you should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I just think it's fun to talk about these topics purely as an enthusiast, and I run this YouTube channel with a silly-ass name purely as a hobby, my most favorite hobby that I've ever had. Now, take a look at this. So what am I talking about? What's in the news today? How about this headline? This matters, guys. Watch this. This is exciting. Michael Saylor reveals huge corporate interest in Bitcoin as crypto conference for CEOs begins. MicroStrategy is holding a virtual conference for CEOs and executives today and tomorrow to explain how companies can invest in Bitcoin. The firm's chief executive, Michael Saylor, says the number of signups for the event reveals there is huge corporate interest in the leading cryptocurrency. And take a look at this. There's a quote. I have never seen so many CEOs sign up to attend one of our events. Send yours or come join our sessions and report back to your team. Every company can benefit from plugging into the Bitcoin monetary network. Now, and then the piece continues. MicroStrategy is hosting the event following its most recent Bitcoin purchase. In a new filing with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, The business intelligence company says it bought 295 Bitcoin for $10 million on February 2nd. The firm also purchased 314 Bitcoin in January, which brings its total Bitcoin hoard to 71,079 Bitcoin. That's insane. The company has invested $1.145 billion into Bitcoin to date. It acquired its Bitcoin stash it averages out to about $16,109 per coin, inclusive of fees and expenses. Now, MicroStrategy is the first publicly traded company to allocate a significant portion of its treasury to Bitcoin. In its fourth quarter 2020 financial report, the firm said its Bitcoin purchases will likely continue, and here's a quote. Going forward, we continue to plan to hold our Bitcoin and invest additional excess cash into flows in Bitcoin. Additionally, we will explore various approaches to acquire additional Bitcoin as part of our overall corporate strategy. And so if this goes the way that they think and hope it will, MicroStrategy, as a result of this, could end up being one of the most valuable companies on the planet in the coming decade. And look, I do believe at some point there will be other cryptocurrencies that corporates as well as institutional investors will increasingly invest in. You're going to see that it's not just Bitcoin, but perhaps even XRP could be on the corporate balance sheet. I don't think that's too wacky of an idea, especially as things continue to develop and it becomes increasingly clear that XRP is here to stay. No way to know for sure if that'll happen, but that doesn't seem outside the realm. It doesn't seem any more wacky than 5 years ago saying that publicly traded companies would be buying over $1 billion worth of Bitcoin. That doesn't sound any more wacky to me. And so again, this is of tremendous importance, because don't forget that this most recent rally, the one that we're in right now, first of all, it's probably going to be the biggest rally. It is. Let's be real. It is. It's going to be the biggest rally, biggest market cycle in the history of the asset class, and it's driven by institutions. It really is. But you're seeing corporates increasingly interested. And it may have been in this article, I can't remember the number, I saw it somewhere. I could have sworn it was like 1,400 CEOs signed up for this. I apologize if I'm mistaken. I'm going from memory. I read a lot of articles every day, so I'm not sure. But there's this piece on the same topic from Decrypt, which covered it from a different angle a little bit. MicroStrategy intent on avalanche of companies joining Bitcoin crusade. Software company MicroStrategy has become one of the most visible institutional Bitcoin investors in the world over the past year, thanks in large part to its CEO, Michael Saylor, whose breathless tweets about the inevitability of Bitcoin have become something like a company gospel. And by the way, that is factually incorrect. I mean, it's a publicly traded company. Publicly traded companies do not meet the definition of institutional money. Those would be things like endowment funds, insurance funds, public pension funds, hedge funds. Anyway, MicroStrategy already owns 71,079 Bitcoin. That's today worth $2.6 billion. And there's no sign it will stop investing anytime soon. And so you're seeing all these other corporates out there like, yeah, they're getting the picture. Like, it's not going away. Having just holding United States dollars or whatever fiat currency they're holding, they're all getting debased. And so that's just like a melting ice cube. That's not functionally useful. And they understand that there's going to be a supply crisis of Bitcoin because there's not enough liquidity, frankly. Like, there's not enough liquid Bitcoin for sale on markets to satisfy the incoming demand. You're already seeing even just PayPal purchasing more Bitcoin than is being mined. Like they have lately. I know they did in November. I don't know if that's kept up to this point, but you get the idea. Like, that's one company, and fine, they're a big company, but it's just one company. And so, in a session today at MicroStrategy's multi-day World Now conference, Saylor said he expects other companies to join him in the crusade. If your company, here's a quote now, if your company has money on its balance sheet and it's sitting in fiat currencies like euros and dollars, they're losing about 15% of their purchasing power each year, said Saylor, appearing to inaccurately imply that all fiat currencies are devaluing at a flat rate of 15% a year. And I want to be clear there. I can't justify this for him because I can't remember how he came at that 15% figure. He's talked about that in more than one interview, and I've heard him. I just didn't retain his explanation, but he's not talking about, for instance, the United States dollar inflating at the rate of 15%. There was something else that was in his calculus. I just can't recall what it was. He'd have to be here to justify it. But the Decrypt author here, whoever wrote this article, mistook it, and I can understand why. I don't blame him, actually. Just took it as he was saying that, like, effectively it's 15%, the United States dollar, or whatever your fiat currency is, losing 15% per year. And I know that's not what he was trying to say, but I just can't explain what it is because I just didn't retain the information. But anyway, the simple solution is convert some of that cash into Bitcoin. We did it. Square did it. You're going to see an avalanche of companies in the coming 12 months also converting their balance sheets into Bitcoin because it's a scarce digital safe haven asset. And so, my friends, that's why, like, when I said minutes ago that this is going to be, in my opinion, the largest, absolutely the largest market cycle in the history of the asset class, like, I don't even know what the top is going to be. Like, what if Binance CEO Changpeng Zhao, if I'm saying that right, I usually just say CZ because that's easier. He goes by CZ. He knows his name is hard for foreigners to pronounce. But what if he's right? I shared in a recent video that he thinks this market cycle could go 4 years long. 4 years from now. FOUR4, not FOR. And so if he's right about that, I mean, if you're talking about, this type of money endlessly going into Bitcoin, holy hell, I just want a bigger pie. And that's going to bring in more retailers on top of that. And I'm just telling you guys, I could not be more excited to be in the space right now. My XRP bags are packed, so I'm just purchasing other altcoins now because I want to diversify sufficiently, but because that makes me feel safer. But this is going to be good for the entire asset class. I tell you, I was here in 2017. I purchased, and I didn't put too much money in because it was, part of the reason I did what I'm about to say I did was just to get my feet wet and understand how it worked. So, of course, I was doing research, and, you might think maybe you don't want to invest anything until you've sufficiently researched. But for me, part of that research really was just experiencing it for myself. And so I did purchase 17 different cryptocurrencies in 2017, and I jumped in November 2017, and inside of 2-3 weeks, whatever it was, I purchased everything that I wanted to just hold and see what happened. And I understood that I could have lost everything, and I knew that I didn't know what I was doing, but it wouldn't have been a big deal if I lost everything. And here's what I experienced: every single altcoin that I purchased, and I mean every single one of them, went parabolic after I purchased it. Every single one. I mean, I'm not talking like a 2 or 3 or 4-fold increase. I mean, it varied from coin to coin, but they all just took off. Because towards the end of 2017 is when you were really seeing the alt cycle boom. And so it's like, even if you tried, at that point in time, you couldn't have picked a loser. Because there's this frenzy. It was complete chaos, complete euphoria. And of course, that wouldn't last. That's why you saw the massive 80-90+% retracements. And all sorts of people were chasing green candles, getting bit, and lost tons of money. And so I wasn't doing that stuff, but I just watched them all increase. And so if you're talking about this much money flowing in thanks to Bitcoin, it's like pick a larger mid cap coin. Like I'm wondering if there will be one single one of them that doesn't tremendously pump, because in 2017 that's pretty well what happened. Think about it. I bought 17 freaking cryptos, didn't know anything. Well, I mean, I did on surface level stuff. I did minimal research, but I only had so much time to learn. Like, you can't learn that much in 2 or 3 weeks. Like, even if you're spending hours per day, which I was doing because I was so engrossed in it, like, you can only learn so much. But just to see that every single one was a winner, until of course it wasn't, because everything dumped out. I think that's going to happen again. And so that's why I'm excited. I believe XRP will be part of this next major market cycle. So to me, this is really, truly, genuinely thrilling stuff. And even though this is an XRP-centric channel, I also talk about crypto in general for a good reason. Like, you got to have an understanding, like a bigger picture view of what's happening in the space to fully appreciate the potential for XRP, I believe. Plus, I think it's silly to be a maximalist of XRP or Bitcoin or any coin. And so I'll never go down that path. That's one coin to rule them all. No, thank you, sir, or madam. That doesn't make any logical sense. So, but here we are. And so this is real life. You've got public pension funds purchasing Bitcoin. You have publicly traded companies in at least a few countries. I know the Canada and the United States, and there are others I can't remember off the top of my head, but the publicly traded companies purchasing Bitcoin, and you've got institutions pumping money in like we've never seen before. This has never happened. Like a market cycle with this type of activity driven by institutions, this is a new one. And so I don't know what the top is going to be in terms of like market cap for the entire asset class, but it's going to be in the trillions, I believe. I believe that we're going to be looking at a multi-trillion-dollar market cap, and I'm not thinking just two. I don't know if it'd be 3 or 4 or 5 or 10 or 20. I won't pretend to know. I just started thinking about it recently, and I'm going to see what others think about that. But I wouldn't be surprised if it's 5 or 10. That wouldn't surprise me in the least with how much money is expected to flow into the space here. So to think that out of the over 7,000 plus cryptos, because you'll watch this, you'll see S-word coins pumping. You will see them. And to think that out of all these 7,000 plus cryptocurrencies, that XRP would be the only one to not pump. I don't buy it. I could buy the idea that it might be the last or among the last to pump because historically that's been the case. But then it pumps the hardest. So we'll just see. We'll see if history repeats itself. I don't know for sure, but I'm feeling pretty good about my odds here. I'll wrap up there. I am not a financial advisor. Do not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.